Emmett, thank you for being here. This has been a very powerful moment in my life,
Mm,
just to really be clear.
mm.
And I've asked Emmett to sing my favorite song off of his album. It's brilliant. So feel free to say what you'd like, Emmett. And then
Sure.
yeah, thank you for sharing your
Thank
music
you.
with us.
Thank you. I'm really glad you like the song. I appreciate that. It was a hard one for me to write, and it took a while for me to, after I wrote it, to feel comfortable performing it. And actually, one of the first places that I did perform it was I was an opening act for a band that was playing at a church, and it was not an affirming church. And this is a song that is about coming out as queer in the church. And I was with people who had told me, they were like, oh, I don't know if you should play that song. It's really it's really vulnerable. And these are people that loved me, and they were just worried that I would play the song and that people in the church would be judgmental, and they didn't want me to get hurt. And so they're like, maybe this isn't the space. And so I was like, okay. And then when I was on stage, I had my set list all planned out, and the song wasn't on the list. But I just felt moved to share it at the end. And I was like, screw it. I know people told me not to play this song, but I did. And afterwards, people came up to me and they were like people I didn't know. And they're like, that was a really beautiful song. And it made me really think, and thank you. And there was no like negative feedback. And so that was really cool to be able to share that. And so I think that moment made me feel more comfortable sharing music and stories related to my experience coming out in the church. It was really neat for me to be able to record and put this song out, because I made a music video for it. And I was like, how can I include other people in the telling of this story? Because it was really important for me to highlight other people's experiences coming out in the church and talking about their own identities in a way that highlighted people who had very different experiences from mine, because I think it's important that people know that like I am not the end all be all for what happens when you come out in the church. And I got like an overwhelming amount of submissions that were like video clips of people in the LGBTQ community. Each person was holding a handwritten sign with something. And I told them, just write anything in relation to the message of the song. And so some people wrote something like about their identity and affirmation, or something negative that they had been told while in a church space, Bible verses if they wanted to that were really encouraging to them. So it was really neat because you had like some people who still very much were immersed in faith, and other people who left the church and never wanted to look back. And I think those are both very valid experiences. And so it was like neat to have that array of people sharing. I remember watching the music video back and just being like totally moved by it. It's very cool to be able to put something out there in the midst of other people who are willing to share, and to have that sense of like unity. And it's liberating because we're all sending that off together. So that was really cool. If you get a chance to check out the video, for anyone who's watching, I highly recommend it. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah. I'll link it below or put
Great.
it in the description, and also all of Emmett's stuff, because Emmett's all over and Emmett is awesome.
Well, thanks. But yeah, so God-shaped hole is like, for me, it was my expression of, this is what I'm seeing going on in the church. And I think that this is not how love is meant to be exercised. And I think that as Christians, we are called to be loving and to accept people and invite them in. And I see a lot of Christians not doing those things in the name of the God that I love and believe in and believes loves me. And so that was really difficult for me to see that contrast. And it was important in the face of that for me to learn to recognize that those people are only working with the information that they have and doing the best that they know how to. And so I felt that if I showed them love in spite of these things, that maybe that would inspire them to perceive unconditional love in a new way. So that's what this song is all about. I'm going to go ahead and play it. The dogs are singing too upstairs.
My children are singing in the basement, so we've got
Wonderful.
a big audience.
Great, love it. So long, farewell, goodbye. I've got wars still left to fight. Tooth and nail, eye for an eye. It flows revenge, you've got it right. And there's been far too little grace from people claiming to be saved. All God's children spewing hate, digging graves and saving face. I used to always pray I wouldn't wake the next day, still feeling like my body left my soul betrayed. But God don't make mistakes, it's no mistake that I was made. Hey, you don't know what you don't know. All our hearts are God-shaped hole. I'm so far from perfect, still don't admit my own defeat. And my doubts, my greatest defects, all my fear is crippling. I wish I wasn't always quiet when I needed to speak up. I wish my words were always gentle when I spoke about love. Shame still haunts aloud like a ghost underground. Why am I most lonely when I'm standing in a crowd of people of the faith? I hope someday that could change, 'cause you don't know what you don't know. All our hearts are God-shaped hole. Tell me, how'd you make it look so easy? Kick me while I'm down on my knees, praying for the strength to love you like he loves me. And tell me, oh, how'd you make it look so easy? Kick me while I'm down on my knees, praying for the strength to love you like he loves me.
Thank you so much. That's absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll have all of Emmet's info all over the place. Thank you so much, and blessings to you. Blessings on all that you're doing for everybody.
Oh, thank you very much, and blessings to you right back. I always really, really appreciate mental health professionals. They've carried me through and guided me through to a lot of points in my life.